Blessings. A little late today, but blessings. Trust that everyone is well. It says I have 4 viewers, but I don't see your names. So I will just say, how are you? And pray your day went well. It's a very interesting day for me, but we are grateful to be alive. So we dare not complain. Just checking in with you all. Haven't been on for a couple of weeks. Some due to illness. Last week I just needed God in a bad way. So church is where I went. There was an awesome church service going on, and so we went there. So we didn't want to not come on tonight because that would be too much like inconsistency. And you never know who needs you when they need you, who's listening to hear something that they might need on today. So again, here we are tonight. We've been talking about a few things that, go along with each other, I guess, hand in hand. We went from, like I choose me to if I can't handle me, how you expect me to handle you. Um, and so we've been combining the two for the last couple of weeks because I think it's important. I think that people should feel comfortable enough to say that they choose themselves. Especially if you're one of those who have spent so much of your time or many years, whichever span is the longest for you, where you were serving someone else or being there for someone else, always being the strongest one in the bunch, always being the one, that gets everybody else from point A to point B, always the one that's got to remain level headed. And sometimes you just get to the point where you say, I choose me. People will say that, that's kind of conceited or arrogant or, you thinking too highly of yourself. And, you didn't feel that way when I was doing it for you. It's just that now I've decided to choose myself that poses an issue for you and everyone else. And so, that's what we've been talking about. And as far as being able to handle someone else when you can't even handle yourselves, for those of us who are, those who serve leadership or serve in any capacity where you have to answer to someone or you have to protect someone or you have to guard someone, you finally get to that point where you say, you know what, I'm all jacked up and here I am still showing up for duty. It's because it's what I'm used to doing. I don't know anything else. Don't even realize that I'm on empty. Don't even realize that I'm dying within myself because I'm just so used to being there for others, so used to serving, so used to being the strong one, so used to being the confidant, so used to being that person that we lose ourselves. And then, we have that bright light moment, I guess, when you say, look, like I've been here for everyone else. I've never chosen myself. I've never chosen to be there for me. What does that look like? What does it look like to choose myself? Well, first and foremost, your sanity, because most of our brain power, most of our getting around has been based on what is needed by someone else. And so now that I have an opportunity to consider myself, I don't know what to do. I don't know which thing to do first. I don't know a lot of things that I should know about myself. I don't, because I've been so involved with being there for everyone else that I lost me in the process. And so now I've decided to choose me. to find out what makes me happy, to say no when I don't want to go and be all right with it and not feel bad that I finally said no, because you go through those questions. Oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have said no. Maybe they needed me. You immediately go to what is needed of you, but you don't talk about what you need. And so in this phase is, if that's what it is, or in this hour of my life, in this time of my life, in this season of my life, hey T, I really have decided to choose me. Now, does it mean that I've let go of all of those other responsibilities? Be not mistaken. By no means. I still show up for duty. I still do what I'm supposed to do, but I don't allow it to be so much. So, hey, bestie, I don't allow it to be so much so that I forget who I am. Um, Many of us in our lives, and we was talking about this even at our ladies group, and my bestie and I talk about this a lot from the single, married, divorce, point of view, because we both have been there for all of it. Um, what happens when you choose you? What happens when you decide that it's time for you to find out what really makes you happy? A lot of us are in some miserable relationships because we thought that was going to solve our problem of loneliness or solve our problems of anger and aggression, but it just made it wider. Why? Because now you have unspoken expectations that you've passed on to whoever you have linked up with, and they have no clue that that's what you've done. And so now you're expecting them to know how to make you happy. And the truth of the matter is, you don't know. You don't know what it's going to take to make you happy because you've spent so many years being it for someone else, never considering yourself. And so now I choose me. And no, like I said, I'm still a servant. I'm still here for membership. I'm still here for my bestie. I'm still here for my children, but not so much so that I'm not there for myself. I had to learn the hardest way that um, you can't wait to the last minute to be there for yourself, because by that point, you're no good to you and anybody else. You have gotten mentally exhausted, physically worn, your strength. I mean, when you get up, you just feel drained, and it's all from everything else, but nothing concerning you. And I had to start looking at that. And I tell people all the time, don't determine what I can take and how much I can handle. Trust me to know that I will tell you when it's too much for me. But right now, what I'm saying is, because you still haven't heard me say that it's too much, what you've heard me say is, I've just decided to choose me. So I can choose me and still be who I've been to everyone else. It just has a limit on it now. I know not to overextend myself to the point where I'm no good to myself or for myself. So I'm choosing me. I'm finding out. I'm investigating who I am. I'm investigating what I actually like as opposed to what I caused myself to like because it meant being with someone else. I'm finding out um, what I won't tolerate. Everybody has deal breakers. Finding out those things about what I will and will not tolerate, things that I put up with before because I wanted to be accepted, things that I put up with before because I just wanted to be loved, things that I put up with before because I didn't want to be alone. Yeah, I started counting that stuff up, man. And so I finally had to investigate what it is I'm looking for. So, yes, I'd be lying to say that there aren't people pursuing me, but I'm not paying it any attention. Is that something to brag about? No. But what I'm saying is I'm not paying it any attention right now because I'm too busy focusing on me, trying to find out what I like, what I don't like, where I'll go, where I'll never go, what conversations, should be had, what conversations won't be tolerated. I need to know all of these things so that when I open that door and let God be God, and that person is there for me, that they'll have my authentic self. So right now, I choose me. I mean, there are conversations that I've been having with, my bestie and with some of the ladies. You know, some of them can't handle my rawness when we're having conversations. Um, one of my many children just will just disconnect because he can't handle me being raw, because he still sees me as mommy. So um, when I'm talking about real life situations, then I'm really talking about real life situations. I don't have time for parables and things like that. This is the real deal. This is what's going on. This is what you need to know so that when that position or when that conversation or when that opportunity arises, you can feel confident in your answers. There's nothing wrong with choosing you. Again, hear me well. While I'm choosing me, I am making sure that I am still the servant. I am making sure that nothing else goes lacking while I'm trying to find me. Some people can't do both things at the time. And sorry, but I'm a multitasker. I like to get as much accomplished at the same time as I can, even when it comes to cooking. When I first started cooking around my bestie, she was like, I don't know how you do that. Yeah, I can like cook a whole meal. Yeah, doing many things at one time so that when I finish, I really am finished. Everything's done, and so that's how I am, right now with my life, with my happiness, with my peace. Um, Finally realizing that while I might be alone right now, I'm not lonely. I really am not. And so I'm not out here doing desperate things and taking desperate measures, and all of that stuff because I'm afraid I'm not going to get this or I'm afraid this won't happen for me. Whatever is supposed to happen for me will. But in the meantime, I'm going to do me, which means choosing me. What do you like? Do you like when or do you like to, and so I started doing those things. And so that when someone else asks me and they're trying to make me happy or when they're trying to do something for me, I can say, you know what, I wouldn't even waste my time with that because I don't even appreciate it like that. Or it's not something I'm really into, or that's something that is in my past, and I choose not to revisit, but to have those answers and be sure about it is a wonderful thing. For somebody to ask you, you know, who are you? And I said that a few weeks ago too. I started asking people, who are you? And the first thing they started telling me was, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a da 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 da. That's not who you are. Those are the hats that you wear, but that's not who you are because you weren't always a mother. There was you before you became that mother. So what is it about you? Tell me about you. I know you're a mother because I see your children. I know you're a leader because I see you in church. Tell me who you are. And not many people are able to tell you that without using, you know, other adjectives and titles that we already have. And so that's the part that made me say, you know what? It's time for me to choose me. Who am I before I am mother? Who am I before I am apostle? Who am I even before I am bestie? Who am I? And so that's the quest. And so when I'm going through different things and going through these changes and learning this newness about life and things, I like to include other people. So most times when we're conversating with you, my bestie and I, she is kind of babysitting right now. So we're in separate rooms so that it wouldn't have so much noise. But we have these real talks and these real conversations because until you can really be honest about who you are, flaws and all, my cousin asked us to talk about that some time ago when we did. But when you can love yourself, flaws and all, you can better explain yourself to someone else. You don't have a problem with saying, you know what, these are my positives and these are my negatives. um, this is what I like and this is what I don't like and this is what I won't tolerate. Because when you talk like that, in the right way, you give people an opportunity to make informed decisions about whether they want to continue on in your friendship, in your relationship, in your leadership. You know, they can make that informed decision. Okay, they told me about this. They told, because people will come, for as long as I've been alive, it's been happening, but people will come and try to discourage you from being where you are, from being with who you're with, or with just being acceptable. People will come to you with what they think you should do, but they never really take time to consider your own thoughts concerning you. And it's sometimes habit. We've just been so used to diagnosing people, misdiagnosing people, you know, that it's become second nature, and so you do it without even thinking. And so now you have someone else who already had questions about themselves is now trying to figure out how the real self can become this person that they already see you to being. And honey, that's some work. So that's where we've been these past couple of weeks. That's where we left off before I got sick, and before we took off last week just for some church. Church is a mental thing for me. Church is my peace, because I can worship no matter what. And while I can worship at home and have done it and will continue to do it, um, gathering together in worship does more for me than anything. Just being able to be my authentic self. Um, Church is that one place that I can be my authentic self. I am a worshiper at heart. I love God's people, sometimes to a fault, if my children would tell the story. Um, but my whole, like, everything that makes me happy is involved with blessings. My guy, how are you? My main thing is just seeing others happy just does so much for me. Knowing that I have the ability to put a smile on somebody's face, or I have the ability to make somebody feel like they can go a little bit further, it does a whole lot for me. And so um, I always say to my bestie, especially because her heart is so pure and so soft that she just, people just have no idea how they wear her out. But I say to her, never let what people do to you change who God made you to be. And that even included me, because sometimes I would see, because I'm here and I can see what's going on, and I'd be like, oh, I know what I'm getting ready to do. And she'd be like, no, no. She's that peaceable person. She's not big on confrontation. Now, don't get it twisted. She can get with you, but she chooses not to be. And so I had to learn that about her, because I would get upset. Like, here, I just got finished defending you, and here you go right back. But I had to understand that that's just how God made her. And so I've said to her, as I've had to minister to my own self, I refuse to change how God made me just because of other people not knowing how to handle me. And it took some growing to get there. Again, it's a part of choosing you. I choose me. So when I say, how are you? Most people know me. I'll be like, all is well, or all will be well, because I really do believe that. Most times when I'm saying all is well, and, sometimes it can give false impressions as well, because people are so used to you. Like, when you say, how are you just thought, oh my God, if I, child, let me tell you, da 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 da. That's not me. Sometimes in my mind, that's what I'm doing, but still those words come out, all is well. And chaos could be all around me, but I still say, all is well. It is engraved in me from a young person until now, from my mom. Everybody doesn't have to know. And then some people are expecting you to be in a bad place. So you don't want to give them, ammunition to use against you. And so, it leaves people wondering, like, how is she still smiling? When I know I set that trap for her, how is she still smiling? And I know what I said about, her. I know what I got in the wind concerning her name. And I just am a great believer that God will vindicate me. Sometimes it takes a lot longer than I would like it to. But the fact of the matter is, if I continue to do it the way God said to do it, He has no other choice but to vindicate me because I'm doing it the way that He would have me to do it. And so in this hour, when I'm saying that I choose me, I choose peace. I choose peace. There's enough going on in life that I don't have room. I don't have room for unnecessary strife. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, I'm a person that if you don't want to know, please don't ask me because I'm going to tell you the truth. Or if you get me upset and you got to do a lot to get me to the place where I actually speak on it. When I am saying what I am saying, I mean it. You will not hear me come back and apologize for what I said. What you might hear me do is apologize for how it made you feel. Because anybody who tells you, oh, I just said that because I was angry, they're lying. Because whatever is in you is what comes out according to the word. Out of the heart, those are the issues of life. What's in you is coming out, not something you put in there and wait and just brought it right back out. No, that junk was sitting there waiting. And it might have came out at the wrong person, but it doesn't change the fact that it was already in you. And so the opportunity availed itself and you just went ham. You just went crazy. And now you want to come back after you realize what you did. You want to come back and say, oh, I was just mad. I didn't mean to say, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. So stop. Stop. It's the truth. And so, again, anybody that's in my life and knows me knows what I'm saying and can verify what I'm saying. I will apologize if what I said hurt you, but I'm not apologizing for what I said because I meant it. We were having a conversation. You said what you said, and I said what I said. Just like you heard what I said and you can't believe it, I'm saying the same thing. Like I'm really hearing something that I didn't even know was there. And so, okay, I got it. Right. It just is what it is. And so in this hour, I just choose me. So I will get, sometimes I will get silent. Sometimes I will isolate myself. I'm good for that. Isolate myself. Um, I do what's going to cause me to have peace. I do what's going to cause me to have peace. And it just doesn't always go that way with everyone else. So in this hour, like I said, I choose me. And I think that um, for so many years, we've been made to feel like, we're holier than thou, or we're conceited or overly confident because we decide that we're going to focus or zone in on ourselves. And it's unfair that you can do whatever you're doing, act however you're acting, treat people however you want to, and do you. But then when it comes to the person on the other end deciding, hey, I'm not going to keep standing here and taking that. I choose me. I choose my peace. I choose my sanity. I choose my heart. Blessings, Apostle. I'm not going to do that. I choose me in this hour for most of my life, from a preteen up until a few years ago, actually, spent most of my life being who everyone else needed or wanted me to be because I felt like if I was anything else, I wouldn't be accepted. I wouldn't be loved the same. I wouldn't, be respected as such. And then I had to realize after much sickness that I had to choose me. I had to stop doing that. I can't now. Don't get me wrong, because I don't even know if I cannot care about anybody. So that's just the way God made me. But what I'm saying is, I'm no longer going to do it to the point where I suffer for it. I have enough things that I have to suffer for my own life. than to just constantly, you know, be the stool that somebody else stands on and never get an opportunity to stand for myself. And so in this hour, I choose me. I choose my peace. I choose my sanity. I choose my God. My worship is intensified week to week because I just can't get enough of what God is doing and what God is showing us. And so now um, I I can just zone out when I'm in worship, whether it be at church or whether it be in my room with my music playing and my waterfall running. I just choose me right now. Learning how to love the me that I see, flaws and all. Because anybody living that tells you they don't have one is a liar. Because we all have flaws. Just like the word says, we all have sinned, we all have flaws. There's something about us that God is still working on because that's why we're still alive, because He keeps giving us moments to get those things together. Um, and so our love toward Him, yeah, there's perfection in that, but a perfect human being, they're not here anymore. Those are days of old. And so when you allow people to know that you're human, I find that um, people draw near or cling, for lack of better wording, and then people give you the word cult because they can't understand why people want to keep coming towards you and oh, don't go over there because they always hollering. We're gonna be hollering for a long time because I have learned that you can't get mad for giving people the ammunition that they're shooting you with. You tell your business, you tell your weaknesses, and then you get mad because people come for you. It took me a lot of years to figure that out, that I could just holler because God knows what's in my holler. He knows what's in my shabak. He knows my every teardrop. He knows what it's about. I don't have to say out loud to everyone. We are supposed to be able to confess our sins one to the other, but not in today's church. Not in today's church. People are so busy trying to expose leadership that it is scary. I'm afraid to do that. And I ain't afraid of many things. But just to outright just expose somebody, um, especially if it's not because I know it to be so and not that somebody told me it is so. Uh, I've always been, if you come and ask me about me, I'm going to tell you. You might not be ready for my answer, but I'm going to tell you, you can't beat me talking about me. I've testified about it. I've used me in my own sermon because I want people to understand that we don't just wake up and we just be holy. It's a daily death. It is a daily sacrifice. It is making sure that people can see God in everything that we say and do. What do I mean? Ain't nobody gonna stand up there and say, "Oh, I see." Now that did happen to me recently. I was walking past somebody, and they were sitting in down on the sidewalk having a conversation with somebody else, and they was like, "Oh my God, I felt glory when you walked by," and I was like, "Excuse me," and I was, like kind of like in awe. I've done that with other people, but very seldom had I heard somebody say that while I'm outside in a parking lot somewhere, and so I said, to God be the glory, because I can never take credit for that because it's Him. But I've learned that um, I don't have to love Him the way everybody else does. Me and God have our own personal relationship. I make deposits into that bank account every single day because I never know when I'm going to have to withdraw. And in the past 4 years, I've been at death's door at least 3 times, just hearing the doctor speaking over me saying there's nothing else they can do but God. And so therefore, my worship is intensified every opportunity. After that, I come to church. I can find myself in the word, whether they making a mess or not. I'm just going to find myself in the word because I want to make sure that I'm getting better, that I'm getting closer. I want to always be able to make someone feel that they are loved, that they are appreciated, um, that they're important, that their feelings matter, that their heart matters. I want them to know that there is somebody out here that recognizes that there is still some good in you. That's why resurrection, you know, I had to, you know, I know what God showed me the church was going to be, and I'm still waiting for that manifestation. And I find myself saying, look, God, what's up? Everything I'm saying to everybody else is coming to manifestation. Where's mine? I want to see it. Give me a glimpse. Do something to let me know. But I understand that the ministry that He has for us is not one that is stationary right now. Yeah, we've been in this one place for like 3 or 4 years right now. And the time before that, 3 or 4 years, that must be our number. But our slogan is, if you've been rejected, we'll keep you connected. And so we take those people that most people don't want, those that wandering off the street, and I can get high just standing next to them. Yeah, those kind of people that everyone else has decided there's no hope or there's no turning them around, because most of them have been either in a church, been raised by somebody in the church, but they have some type of knowledge of the Bible and they're quick to tell you about it. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that alcoholic don't know the word, because you'll be fooling your own self. And so I'm a firm believer of that saying that says, be careful how you entertain angels or entertain strangers. There it is, because you may be entertaining angels unaware. And so my bestie used to get on me because I would let people get in my car. I've run into a house that I saw was on fire to try to get people. I give money to those, my last. I could be getting ready to get me a coffee, and that's what I got, and I give the money out the window. And, I hold on to that because I want that for me. I want somebody to see me and say, I'd love to be a blessing, or here, God told me to do this, or here, I'd like for someone to be that sensitive. And so in this hour, as I'm choosing myself, I am opening myself up for God to just like cut, 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 cut. You know, I just, we're studying right now in the book of Revelation. And let me tell you something. Every chapter we read, I say, God help, because I want to be a part of that rapture. I want to be a part of that ruling. I want to be a part of that life. I want to be able to do as the scripture said in Isaiah 54:17, in that latter clause that says, and every tongue that rises up against me in judgment, I will be able to condemn. And so, is it easy living life now knowing that so many people have their mouths on you? It's not easy, but it's necessary to do. Um, most of them that are around me, they don't like when they come to me, because I was like, well, if it's a lie, let it be there. Don't try to defend the lie, outlive it, and sometimes it leaves you feeling very punked. Yes, you have, Tanisha. Um, Left me feeling very punked, because I know that I could deal with you. Um, but I'm choosing to let God be God. And it is just not easy. I would be lying if I said it was. It's just not easy, but it's a matter of being that confident in the God that I serve, that if He said vengeance is His, then He will vindicate me. He will stand up for every silent moment I've had. When I knew the truth and could speak the truth and yet chose to leave it where it is. You make people wonder, you know, Um, while even though you're feeling like, oh my God, like, did they just get that? Like, God, you would really do that to me? And that's what you saying to God, and on the other end they're saying, oh man, I just knew that was gonna. Yeah, no, not in this hour. I've just decided, as my mom and many mothers have said to their children, learn how to pick your battles. So right now, with me choosing me, that's the battle that I'm choosing right now. That battle for peace, peace of mind, peace in my spirit, just peace, you know, accepting what is. I know that Paul says that whatever state we find ourselves in, we have to learn to be content. But there are also scriptures in there that allow me that to know that my faith can move some things for me. And when I don't feel like this is what I deserve, I can go to God and give him his word and remind him of what he said to me. I would remind him, I've done that. Your prophet said, your prophet told me, and your prophet said that I can ask anything. And one thing that baffled me and my bestie one day, we were together some years ago, and when I tell you that rain came out of nowhere and it seemed like the heavens had opened, and I start reminding God of the prophet who told me that whatever I ask, he would do, and that as far as I could see in the skies, as far as he would be willing to go for me. And I looked up and I said, God, I need you to stop this rain right now. And so, I didn't think nothing of it. I just told my best. I was like, remember when so and so? So what I'm saying to you, God, right now is your prophet said. And I reminded him, and then I said, I'm gonna need you to stop this rain right now. And I tell you the truth. Dried it right up. That thing made me almost run. And not because I was happy, it was because I was like, wait, what? Like I couldn't believe that it actually happened. And so that's a place I want to be in. That's the place that I want to stay in. That's the place that I want to find under his wing. That's that place. I have a t-shirt line that goes along with Love of Me I See that says, when my enemies rose up against me, he hid me. And it's a big wing, and I'm peeking out from behind that wing. And then there's another one that says, when I'm at my weakest moment, he carries me. And so I'm sitting in the hands of God, broken and just distraught, and he's carrying me. Those are my newest t-shirts that are coming out for Loving the Me I See. It's the way when God give it to me, because I said to my bestie, I said, I don't know if this was God or vision or what. And I described it. I sent it over to my niece. She sent me back the picture that I wanted, and my bestie made the t-shirt. And I'm telling you, God is doing something. Whatever he's doing in this season, while it is a bit, I don't want to say scary, unnerving, because it's just happening so much and so um, real that I'm like, God, like this is really unbelievable. But it is at this time that I'm choosing me. This time that I'm choosing to find out who he really is. My mom is not here anymore. She was the epitome of faith. I could always look to her for an answer. I could always look to her for encouragement. I could always look at her and know that there was still a God. And so now I can't go on mama and them no more because mama and them ain't here. And so it has caused me to get deeper and stronger in my relationship with God, to know him for myself, to hear him for myself. Sometimes I still go to my bestie and say, okay, prophet, because she is the prophet that God sent to walk beside you. And when she gives a word, I listen. And sometimes when it doesn't happen fast enough, I was like, wait a minute, because you told me. And she'd be like, stop doing that. You're making me feel bad. But what I'm saying is that I believe in her. Like I believe when she speaks that it's going to happen. No doubt in my mind. So it's not to put added pressure on her, but it's to let her know that I have that much faith in what she speaks that I can come back to her like the woman did to the prophet Elijah and say, you promised. You said. And I'm telling you, it is just, I'm excited. I'm excited. And so in this hour, all I say right now is, I choose me. I choose me. I'm not sure how many people this will upset, but it's just that time. The same energy that I've invested in others, it is now time for me to invest in myself. Now, again, hear me well. Does it mean that I won't continue to serve? Does it mean that I won't continue to show up for others? No, 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 no. That's not going to change. That's not going to change. But I'm just not going to let it take me to the point where I forget about me. When my body starts talking, I have to listen. Because when I was at the point of death, them people that I've been there for, they wasn't there, nor could they do anything for me. And so now I have to choose me. I have to choose me. My bestie is always front and center, but she's not everybody. And there are those who, if they would just think to themselves and really hear God, because I know He's been speaking, there are others who, not just for me, for you, those of you who listen to me or listen to us on a weekly basis, there are some people in your life that really owe you an apology. There are some people in your life that really owe you some money for things that you've done, things that you've said that was going to come to pass, that did, even though you didn't have the title prophet. You told them what you dreamed, or you told them what you felt, and it happened, and they were excited, but they didn't come back to say thank you. So if it happened to Jesus, who do we think we are? But it would be nice, every now and then, if somebody would come back and say, you know what? I'd be telling my bestie, I said, you give so many accurate prophetic words that people should be tithing back into you when they get these things that you promised them. That's the way they did it in the Bible. And so I choose me. I choose me, and it's working out pretty good. It's working out pretty good. So, well, all I can say is, when you're learning how to love the you that you see, flaws and all, when you learn that it's all right for you to care about you, and not feel bad about it, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. So I just want to let you know tonight that I love you, that I believe in you, that I'm excited for you, that I'm grateful to you. For those of you who come on every week and meet us, we say thank you. Continue to pray for us as we pray for you. Like I said, my bestie's babysitting right now, so she's not able to be front and center. But I just wanted to come on. I knew I wouldn't be long, but I tell you, I'm big on consistency. So I wanted to, try to make sure I showed up for the cause tonight. So think about, what I've said. Go back and replay this and remind yourself of how important you are to yourself and to God. And choose you, flaws and all. I choose to love me, flaws and all. And if I can learn to love me with flaws and all, then I can be confident about telling someone else what it takes for me to be made happy, what it takes for me to be appreciative, what I won't tolerate. There's a right to let people know that. All right? So we'll see you again next week. I'm going to get off here. Tonight, I think I've said enough. So we're going to get off. We wanted to make sure that you were okay. We wanted to check in and let you know that all is well and will continue to be well until God sees the same. Thanks for being there, and we will see you on next week. at 9:15. All right? Be blessed, guys. We love you.